Our second Freedom Award of the day goes to Laurel Tombazzi. In recognition of your leadership in finding and being chair of the Eastern European Congress of Ohio. And for many other things I'm not going to mention right now, but I'm going to call on her children, Joseph and Anna, to step forward and continue with the introduction of our next honoree.
I was told to keep this short, but since the weather's turned pretty bad, I'm going to double length of this. No, just kidding. So good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Tombazzi, and I'm joined here by my sister Anna. And it's our honor to introduce to you our mother, Laurel Tombazzi, who has been dedicated to raising the awareness and promoting the interest of Eastern Europeans, many of who you know are still marginalized and even being oppressed today on the world stage. So as you may guess, our Italian last name comes from my dad, sitting right over there. Yeah. And my mother's side, our heritage, though, is split between Hungarian and Carpatho-Rusin, which are a distinct group of people living in the intersection of modern-day Slovakia, Ukraine, and Poland. And originating from a people without a country has been one of the inspirations for my mother to fight for the recognition of our people and also all the people of Eastern Europe. As children, we were taught our heritage through song, dance, and other traditions, and one of the traditions that always stood out to me was our celebration of the Christmas Eve dinner, also called Vilia. And there our cultural and religious traditions came together in a symbolic 12-course dinner of foods that could be found in the harshness of the Carpathian Mountains. And even though it was a simple meal, we're still reminded of the abundance we have here in America, as I was told that my great-grandfather shared the same meal in Eastern Europe, but they ate it using a single wooden spoon. And I'm sure this is a story that many other people here have ancestors and maybe they themselves can relate to. So with that, I'll turn it over to my sister for a few words. Thank you.
All right, I don't have any jokes, so if anything is funny, I promise it's an accident. So my mom, Laurel Tombazzi, has done so much for the Eastern European community and for nationalities just in general. If you've ever talked to her, you know that you will always come away learning something about minorities and nationalities and their importance and their history and their heritage. Now, one thing I learned from my mom in all these years is never be afraid to ask. And if you would have told anyone that they could just send an email to the senator, the governor, go meet with these people, and create the Eastern European Congress of Ohio, create an Eastern European month, which is April, that would have seemed crazy, unless you were Laurel Tombazzi. But why is this important? I live in California, and I was recently feeding one of my neighbor's horses. They were on vacation. Her mother-in-law came outside and introduced herself to me, and she said, "Hi, my name is Yola," with a strict European accent. And I said, "Oh, are you from Poland?" And she said, "Yes." And she looked at me in shock because no one really even knew how to say her name or how to spell it, let alone know that it was Polish. But because of my mom's involvement, and of course, all of the history and the learning that we've done, and if you know her, you probably have learned a lot too, it's really fostered this feeling of community and inclusion throughout all of these groups, which is really important and really what we hope to build here and continue to build in Ohio and other states. So thank you for that, and thank you all for coming and supporting all of our wonderful honorees today.
And with that, we present our next honoree for the Freedom Award, Laurel Tombazzi.
Dear Grandpa, a few months after your death, in November 1971, a man familiar to Clevelanders, Ralph J. Perk, was elected as mayor to the city of Cleveland. As the former Cleveland mayor, governor, and U.S. Senator Frank Lausche was Slovenian, The Eastern European communities of Ohio, of Cleveland, again rejoice that the newly elected Mayor Ralph J. Perk was Czech and Bohemian. Mayor Perk had such a strong connection to his Eastern European roots, he organized and started the American Nationalities Movement, an organization that condemned the aggressiveness of communism and Soviet policies. The term, Grandpa, quote, captive nations, end of quote, with the American Nationalities Movement has been frequently used and as numerous nations and millions of people at this time were subject to decades of living under harsh communist regimes. Even today, Grandpa, close to our beloved homeland of Eastern Slovakia, the village called Shoma, at the time of your departure to America in the Carpathian Mountain region, there is still fighting and bloodshed between the peoples of Ukraine and Russia. From 1990, the American Nationalities Movement has held its annual Freedom Award celebrations, and we thank the Honorable Ralph J. Perk Jr. for continuing the legacy of his own father and the American Nationalities Movement. Grandpa, you never forgot your Byzantine Catholic religion, your Carpatho-Rusin heritage, a nationality that has no country of its own, primarily located in present-day Eastern Slovakia, southern Poland, western Ukraine, parts of Hungary, Serbia, Romania, and Croatia. Gone are the days when you called me, quote, the Laurel, end of quote. Through my playing the violin you gave me, Grandpa, you could see I had courage. That same courage in which I instruct, defend, and dedicate my time for the Eastern European peoples of Ohio. Just 52 years plus 2 days ago, on July 18, 1971, I played the violin for you. You leaned forward and said to me, quote, that was the best birthday gift I ever got, end of quote. As one of your 14 grandchildren, for you to say this to me really made an impression on me. So much so that 31 years plus 2 days ago, on July 18, 1992, I married my husband, Frank, on your birthday, Grandpa. Frank has been a support to me through all these years and offered help in many ways to which I am truly grateful for. Eastern Europeans, in addition, value education, Grandpa, like your son-in-law, my dad, who was first-generation American-born of northeastern Hungarian ancestry. Mom and Dad were married for over 61 years before Dad passed 10 years ago. Dad worked hard to make a better place for our family. He built our beautiful, spectacular home with his own hands. Dad was a master craftsman carpenter and later obtained a master's degree in education. Dad kept his focus on doing better than the previous generation. And I'm happy to have my Uncle David, my dad's younger brother, here at our table number 3. Thank you for coming in from North Carolina, Uncle David, and representing Dad. Now, Grandpa, what has your youngest, the last surviving of your 7 children, been doing? Besides raising her 4 children, Mom became a self-publishing author. Mom had your journals and notes whereby she wrote a book titled The Armor of a Just Man, The Life of Stephen Puisty. The book was written in 1993, and copies of this book are in 4 prestigious universities: University of Pittsburgh, University of Toronto, Harvard University, Yale University. Mom has reserved several copies of this book for the future generations of your great-great-great-grandchildren. Future generations, like your great-grandchildren Joseph and Anna, they have stayed in the faith and that you passed down to us, Grandpa, in the Byzantine Catholic Church. They have not forgotten their Eastern European heritages and value their education. Going to let you in on a little heartfelt secret, Grandpa. When Grandma died unexpectedly 10 months before I was born, I decided long ago that if I ever had a daughter, I would name her after the grandmother I never knew. Today, Anna is a chemical engineer, graduate from the University of Akron, and she works in the aerospace industry. She is truly a rocket scientist. Your great-grandson Joseph, also a graduate of the University of Akron with a degree in Management Information Systems, was a tremendous asset and help in the beginning years of the Eastern European Congress of Ohio. Joseph, who I call our computer doctor, helped me plow through the difficulties of huge file bases with this electronic device called a computer, Grandpa. My research of the American Community Survey started in 2011 to create awareness of the Eastern European peoples in Ohio. Over 1 million Ohioans have Eastern European heritage. Numerous trips throughout Ohio, interfacing with Ohio's leaders and Eastern European communities, has brought energy and focus to the over 25 Ohio Eastern European nationalities that make up today's regions in Eastern Europe. My thanks especially to friend and colleague John Rigetti, President of the Carpatho-Rusyn Society based out of Pittsburgh, for your guidance and encouragement these last 12 years. Your advice and time continues to be appreciated. In addition, thanks also to Ava Laser, President of the Magyar Club of Dayton and Southwest Ohio, for her assistance these last 4 years. By forming the Eastern European Congress of Ohio, we ask that we be given the same level of interaction as other distinct groups of people in Ohio. As you had courage, Grandpa, to come to America, the Eastern European peoples of Ohio have this courage also. And to my fellow Freedom Award recipient, Representative Tom Patton, congratulations. I met him in the spring of 2015 as the then Ohio Senator Patton, and asked him to designate April as Eastern European Month for Ohio. Thank you for being the Irishman who got this Eastern European designation within a few short months. And now that the Commission on Eastern European Affairs has been signed into law by Governor DeWine recently, we know, Representative, we can work with you together to get the needed funding for this commission. You want to get something done? Ask Irishman Patton. And Andrea, congratulations to you and to the entire American Hungarian population. Why my thank you. In 1905, Andrea, there was a young 17-year-old who stood in the line upon arriving to America. The 17-year-old knew 5 Eastern European languages. And as the 17-year-old was approaching the front of the line, he realized that he had no American address. No American address meant you had to go back to your country of origin. The 17-year-old was crying, and there was another Hungarian man in front of him that asked, "Why are you crying?" The 17-year-old said he was crying because he had no American address. Well, this Hungarian man gave him his address, an address of Cleveland, Ohio. Andrea, we don't know who that Hungarian man was, but the 17-year-old was my grandfather. So now I say thank you to you, Andrea, and thank you to all American Hungarians who are here tonight for the kindness of that unknown Hungarian man who helped Grandpa come to Cleveland, Ohio. Thank you very much. With courage, devotion, and dedication to the Ohioans of Eastern European heritage, we are all working for a better future for each of us while our past is not forgotten. Grandpa, this Freedom Award is for you, to the members of my family, and for the over 1 million Ohioans who have Eastern European heritage. God bless America. Thank you, Grandpa. Love, the Laurel.